Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Red Letter, Yellow Letter podcast, a weekly anarchist, voluntary agorist variety podcast where we talk about and philosophize and really wing it regarding the morals and ethics of everything going on in the world today, tomorrow, in the future. I'm your host, Nev, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, as always, Harley. Harley, how you doing today? We're winging it big style, aren't we?
We were literally just discussing the ethics of fucking cow mutilations.
Yes. Because I noticed, see, Harley's got these really cute earrings in, right? She's got these really cute earrings in. And I asked the question, who's being abducted? Because I can see that they're flying saucers and they're abducting something. And she said cows. And I'm like, no. And this is the simple, as far as I'm concerned, this is the simple logic of it. Why would aliens abduct the cows? They're just mutilating them, right? Seriously,
not just mutilating them.
They're not doing any
science.
No, they abduct humans, right? They mutilate cows. So it should be a little human being, not a cow. Because if you're an alien scientist, you're doing your experimenting and you're doing your cow mutilations on the ground. Okay, you're not doing it in the spaceship. You're not, because you're going to make a mess. Okay, and this is the point that I'm trying to make to Harley, is it is the wrong species of animal being abducted. Humans get abducted, okay?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're abducting the cows so they can, feed earth protein to the earth people that they abduct. They've got, a full-ass barbecue set and, tiki hut in the back or something, and they're making, ribs, and they got, a smoke pit and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
horrible experiments on them. I'm just saying an anal probe is probably going to be more tolerable if you get the best fucking intergalactic ribs of your life out of it. It still sucks you're getting probed, but if you get a big ass free tray of ribs, it's all right, that's a little more tolerable.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, I can understand experimenting on cows, because cows, they're not as sentient as human beings, and you abduct a human and they're going to kick up a stink.
Alien cow hybrid babies, you create human alien hybrid babies. That's the point. They're abducting the people so they can replenish their race. That's why all the all the dreams of women getting abducted and they're pregnant for 2 months and then they're abducted again and the baby's gone. That's what they're doing. You can't do that with cows. You can't save your race with cows. They gotta go with humans.
Well, yeah, of course, because you can beam up a couple of honeys into your spaceship, and you can it's like, here, smoke this.
No,
you don't need to anal probe.
They don't have genitals.
Huh?
They don't have genitals. They're not banging them. They're artificially inseminating them or removing their eggs and making.
That doesn't. Just because they don't have genitals doesn't mean they can't party. Excuse me. That doesn't mean they can't.
They have a goal. They're too set on their goal to party.
No, they can.
Maybe they did party, and that's what the ribs are for.
They can beam people up. That they can have the doobies, and they can have some alcohol, and they can party. Excuse me. Look. People who have been abducted return. It's like, oh my god, I can't remember. I'm missing this time. It's like, yeah, that's because you were stoned and pissed, and you can't remember the past night because you got totally wasted.
Well, then see, maybe the cow mutilations are so they have ribs and protein.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that maybe they do the stuff, maybe they do weird stuff on cows.
Party. There's just no banging going on. They don't need these beautiful model looking type women. They get men and women too, because the whole goal is to replenish their own race. They just need whoever is fertile as fuck. They don't need whoever looks good. So there's no actual orgy going on.
If you've got cows and you've got humans, so you try doing stuff with the humans and it's you do stuff with the cows and it's like moo. So if I was I'd be thinking, what? Cow tasty, doesn't complain a lot, right? Human complains a lot.
Not if you knock
complains a lot. It takes an awful lot of, weed and alcohol to get stoned so that they forget everything the next day. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they know how to make so humans can't, complain during the test. I'm sure they could, knock them, just right on the side of the head, just bonk them or some shit. I don't know. I'm sure they got something they could shoot into them and just knock them unconscious so there's no complaining.
Well, I don't know. It depends. We don't know. We don't know
I would
what
assume
they're
since they're flying from
technologically
another
capable of.
galaxy or some shit to Earth, they probably have some kind of like anesthesia or some shit. I've been on a lot of different knockout drugs, okay, because I have an extreme tolerance, which is probably why I've never been abducted, because it would take all the fucking shit they have to knock me on my ass. But I'm just saying, if we can have a multitude of them, they've probably got like one or two.
See, they just beam me up, and there's a room, and it's like there's some hookers and blow over there, and all we want to do is stick this up your ass. It's like, do I get the hookers and blow first? Now, as long as I get the hookers and blow first, you can do whatever you want experimentation wise to me, because I'm gonna be gone. Forget about it. So it's like it's the age old tale. I've said before that I'm ex-military. And when you're drunk and you're playing drinking games, you get asked, played silly drinking games like what is it, murder, marry, date, or something like that.
Oh yeah, kill one, marry one, fuck one. I play that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the army we have, you can do this person, but you've got to do all of these people. So it would be like perfect example would be the cause. So you can have the cause, but you got to take it from Jim Corps. Because there's 3 ladies and then there's the brother. So the question would be, you can have the cause, but you've got to have the cause.
It took me a second to realize you mean the band, right?
Yes, the band. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what? And then it connected.
The band, and then there's Steps, because Steps had 3 very attractive women in it, but it also had 2 guys in it. British pop band.
There we go. Okay.
There you go. So you see, in the UK, we have bands where they mix and match. So it wouldn't just be a boy band or a girl band; it would be a mixed band. So you would have both boys and girls in the band. Okay. I don't see a lot of that going on over here in the US.
They're over here. Over here.
Really? Name one that I might know, because I just named
men
2.
and women.
Yeah.
Heart.
Who?
Heart. No fucking way.
No idea.
Okay, no, I refuse to believe that. I absolutely refuse to believe that shit.
I don't know who Heart is. Who is Heart?
I refuse to believe this right now. No fucking way.
Yeah, I don't know who they are. No idea.
Barracuda. The song Barracuda.
Yes. Okay, so I've heard that song. Yes.
They've got many of other hits. They actually cover Zeppelin a lot too. There's actually this amazing video of them covering Zeppelin from a few years ago, and Robert Plant is in like in absolute tears because he's just like, oh my god, they're so good.
Oh, bands with female fronts don't count. You're not allowed to use them. So if it's an all male, if it's an all male instrumental band and they've just got the leading vocalist is just a girl, doesn't count.
Mindless self-indulgence.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't know them.
No,
they're a little more. Them. Yeah, no, they're not really your style. But yeah, male frontman, female drummer. I think a female guitarist as well.
All right. Okay.
We do that here. We do it here.
We're getting there. We're sharing culture. We're talking about stuff. And that's another thing. I must admit that I made the mistake of scrolling for 5 minutes on Facebook earlier on today.
Ugh.
And the amount of they're never going to watch this anyway. The amount of dumb people on Facebook in the UK that just all of a sudden think, oh my god, everything's immediately better because Donald Trump's not in office and he's been replaced by a 47-year career politician that's done nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, really? You think things are gonna get better?
Did you see that one?
And they're literally, it's like celebrating. Let's celebrate. Yeah. The world is better. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It's not better.
On Twitter, there's like some dumb bitch. I can't think of her name. I didn't know who the hell she was. I don't know. I clicked on her profile and she's got like a Christmas album or some shit. I don't know. But she like made this post about how like my 7-year-old son came up and hugged me and said, no more kids locked in cages now because Trump's gone. And I'm like, you mean the cages that were started under the Obama administration? Because I got some really fucking bad news for you about who was vice president at that time. like really bad news.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
just, I'm. It's amazing. Literally, that they think that the people in the UK are that blind and that stupid and that gullible to the media that they think the changing of a hood ornament on a car, because that's what it is. It's the same car, it's the same vehicle, it's moving forward, but they're changing the hood ornament and the driver, and that's it.
okay, I remember the tizzy I was in.
All right, okay. What was the
I
tizzy?
finally remember. Okay. Because I was gonna say that people act like the presidents honestly have like way more power than they actually have. Okay. And so my friend was talking about how like, everybody's like, going on about how Biden is going to take away all guns, make all guns illegal. And it's like he literally doesn't have the ability to do that. And it was the same thing like when Trump first was elected and everyone was flipping out that every minority, especially the Mexicans, were going to get deported, no whether or not they were a US citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't like I remember some of my friends were doing they're like, oh my God, my best friend since junior high is going to be deported now. And I'm like, why would he wasn't he born in the US? Well, yeah, but he's Mexican. Okay, so like, are you kidding me? And people, oh my gosh, parents come to me or online or I'm seeing all these groups and shit, and they're going, my 6-year-old boy is absolutely terrified that his best friend Alejandro might get deported. I'm like, why would he get deported? Well, because he's Mexican. Okay, wasn't he born here? Yeah, so were his parents. Then why the fuck would they be deported? Why are you driving this fear to your 6-year-old kid?
Yeah.
That's child abuse. I'm sorry. That's fucking child abuse.
Yeah.
Like, God.
And there are, I kid you not,
I mean, your children.
what goes on over here does not affect in any way, shape, or form anything that goes on in the UK. A lot of people think there are a lot of people that think it's going to affect them. For example, there are people who are anti-Brexit and pro-EU that remember, because if you go back to when Obama was in power, Obama basically threatened the voting populace of the UK with, we're not going to make deals with you unless you're part of the EU, so you better not vote against Brexit. Now, a lot of people fail to remember this. It's one of the reasons why it probably got more people to vote for Brexit than didn't. I mean, I didn't. I'm not going to vote. You know me.
Right.
I wasn't going to vote for it. Doesn't stop me spoiling my ballot. I did write something very funny and amusing on my ballot, because if you don't spoil your ballot, if you don't spoil your ballot, that's one of the things. I mean, even though anarchists don't vote, I still think spoiling your ballot is a powerful message, because spoiled ballots get counted. They get counted, you see. So I think it's important for the powers that be to be able to count and see and know how many people don't, follow through.
The only time I've ever done a voting form, like fill out a voting form, like Delia or a census or whatever, I just drew dicks on it, sent it back.
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's just my go-to. It's like, fuck you, he's a penis.
No. What is it in 2012? In 2012, I ran in an election, and obviously I was there for the count. And that's one of the weird, because I've experienced exactly what happens at a location where the votes turn up. I know exactly what needs to be done and what is required. So when I see things that should occur, to legitimize the process. I'm not saying that, I'm not talking about it philosophically. I'm talking it from a practical application point of perspective. Right. From a practical application, in order for it to function and work and be legitimate, X, Y, and Z needs to happen. Yeah. And that's not what happened over here. And everybody's and I'm like, I'm not surprised I'm not surprised you're complaining, and B, this is why it doesn't work. Because you don't even have the intelligence to do it properly. Because I'm looking at the way that I'm looking at the way in certain states, hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots and absentee ballots haven't been checked and tabulated, and I'm like, you understand, right? That before it gets opened, you have to have one party from each side witnessing it being opened. And then it gets put in a tray. And then they have to do it again and again and again. They have to do it for every single piece of mail, every piece of every voting ballot that has been mailed. And that's not what's occurred. And I'm like, are you stupid? Are you irretrievably stupid? And
Yep.
I mean, don't get me. There are states where that is exactly what occurred, and that's why the results for those states happened pretty much like that on election day. But you need, and in the UK, they're called election agents. Over here, they're called pollsters, I think, or something like that. But in the UK, they're called election agents, and parties and candidates are allowed to have as many as they like, because when they're being counted, the agent just from both sides, from any side, from any party, they just stand there and that's it. They're just monitoring it, make sure. Oh, so yeah. Oh, so that's spoiled, so that goes in the spoiled pile. Oh yeah, that's a red one, so that goes in that. Oh yeah, and if there's a dispute on any of them, they go to they take it out. They agree. Yep, this one's disputed, and it goes into a disputed pile. And then once that box has been finished, the disputed pile goes to the representative of the electoral commission, and the election agents and the lawyers then argue over the merits of something that is and that's not what's occurred here. That didn't occur. That did not occur in several states over here, and they're the ones that were contested. And it's like, okay, so you understand how to resolve. You get. I mean, they understand how to resolve all of these issues because there is a piece of paper for every single one, and you just so yeah, it boggles my mind. It really, really does. But there are the people in the UK. It's like, oh. So for 4 years, we believed the stories and the narrative from the press that it was stolen from Hillary Clinton, that there was foreign interference, and that the presidency was illegitimate. So the entire process is wrong, corrupt, and it needs to be changed. But now, because we've got the result that we want, it's all fine again. And I'm like, no, you were right the first time. It's a corrupt process that doesn't work. And you don't get what you want. You get what you voted for. You were always right. It's like, but no, it's fine. It works. It's great because we got what we want. It's like, no, you were right before. Don't change your mind. You were right before.
In 4 years of Trump's presidency, and magically it just got better.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. It's a miracle. It's a 2020 miracle.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I mean, one of the things that amuses me so much is the swing side of the narrative. So many more millions of people voted for Biden as the president, but they did not vote for Democrats in their local elections. It's like, okay, I really don't like the guy on top, but I trust the people local. I trust the local. So it's like, I trust Trump. I don't trust Trump, so I'm going to vote for Biden, but I trust the local Democrats even less, that I'm not even going to vote for. I mean, in Wisconsin, there was a difference of like 100,000. I mean, the difference between the Republicans voting for the top of the ticket and then the regular politicians, it was something like 10,000. But for the Democrats, it was like 100,000 more Democrats voted for Biden than they did for their local Democrat officials, and that was in Wisconsin. And I'm looking at that thinking, yeah, they really, really. I mean, they don't like Trump, but they really hate their local and that's that. When you think about it, that does from a media narrative, that does kind of make sense, because the media narrative is Trump is bad, Trump was bad, Trump was bad. So they're like, yeah, okay, so fine, I'll vote for Biden. I'm in Wisconsin, I'll vote for Biden because you're telling me that Trump is bad. And then they're looking at everything under the Trump Biden bit, and they're like, yeah, but if I don't know if you've noticed, but my state is in absolute shit state right now. So I hate Trump so much that I'm going to vote for Biden. but I hate my local politicians even more that I'm definitely not voting for them. And nobody in the media picked up, especially in Wisconsin. Nobody in the media. It's like people hate their local Democrat politicians more than they hate Trump, because at least they voted for Biden as a president, the Democrat president, but they didn't want to vote for Democrat local politicians, whether it's, Senate or state legislators or whatever. I mean, I don't know. You and I don't really. I just saw the numbers and thought, that's so funny that they hate their local people more than they hate, because they know the people voting for Biden, probably in the back of their minds, they know that it's not really going to affect them because it's the guy at the top. So that's why they voted, and they don't really care. But they do know that the local politicians in their state will have a direct effect on what they're doing, which is why they're like, yeah, I'm not voting for any of these people whatsoever. And that's why it's absolutely nuts. You've got so many different legislatures, so many different local and state legislators have completely and utterly flipped from Democrat to Republican. There have been flips in the House of Congress, and they've held the Senate. So while the rest of the world is, Orange Man Bad is out, Orange Man Bad is out, the political establishment inside the United States are going, you know what, actually this wasn't that bad, and that's why the Republicans, so the apparatus, so that's one of the reasons why I think that most Republicans have been keeping their mouth shut, and most Democrats have been imploding. It's everything. They've put so much emphasis onto the presidential race in states where other things have been going really, really badly for, the local politicians. And they haven't thought, well, okay, so all of the rioting that was occurring in this state, and then, the subsequent non-action from local politicians regarding it, it's like it's Trump's fault. The people in that local area are like, well, you know what? I trust Trump less, so I'll vote for Biden, but I trust you guys even less, so there's no way on God's green earth that I'm voting for. And that's resulted in like state legislators swinging around, and I mean, 2 years from now, there is no way, that the media is going to be able to say everything was, everything that's going wrong, everything that's bad is Trump's fault. They've no longer, if Biden does win, once the recounting and the retabulations is done, and it is determined that they change the driver and the hood ornament on the car from Trump to Biden, everything that happens that's bad is now his fault, because that's all they've done for the last 4 years. If something horrible or bad goes wrong, it's one person's fault. And a lot of people in states where things go badly, the people that live in those states are now going to be looking at their local politics, because the narrative isn't going to say, the media isn't going to say everything that happens that is bad is Biden's fault. They're not going to say that anymore. So if something goes wrong in a state, and there are Democratic people in charge of that state, people are going to be like, Trump's not in charge anymore, so it must be you guys. So 2 years from now, we're going to vote you out because clearly you're doing a crap job.
Huh? They're just going to ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, this is actually why I've been avoiding Facebook, because I'm so fucking sick of the constant excuses, the deliberate lies, and hiding everything under the rug just for their own personal gain. And I don't even feel like it's their own personal gain. I just feel like they don't want to be proven wrong. They don't want to face the fact that they are continuously feeding into this system that draws people who crave power and authoritarian trips. They don't want to fucking admit it. They want to act as if there's no skin off their neck when this shit keeps happening. And so I actually got really pissed off because I actually posted on my Facebook a few days ago, and I'm like, out of curiosity's sake, because keep in mind, my Facebook, I actually don't really have a whole lot of Republicans. I have like maybe 3 people total on my Facebook who actually voted for Trump. Okay. That's about it. Right. And then I have a shitload of Biden voters, and then a bunch of people who just flat out don't vote.
Yeah.
Okay. So I posted legitimate question. How many of you have heard about the issues with Hunter Biden and the child porn charges and the sex tape with who is, I don't know how proven this is, but is said to be his 14-year-old niece? And I, the amount of fucking Biden voters coming in going, oh, well, I knew it, but I personally don't feel like the father should be held accountable for the son's actions. And I'm like, you know what? If this was Trump's son, you would be saying that he got the child porn from his father. You'd be sitting there going, oh, father of the year over here. He can't even raise his own son. How can he raise a country? You would be blasting him through the fucking roof. But because it's dear precious little old Biden, you're going to make excuses out the ass for him. Biden has done nothing to hold his son accountable for this shit.
And that's
nothing.
And
y'all want to sit there, come up with excuses out of your ass to act like, oh, I'm just doing what I think is best for the country. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I am beyond sick of it at this point. I am sick of hearing people my age and a little younger, all these little progressives and shit going on about how, oh, I understand the two-party system is corrupt. I get it now, but don't you dare vote third party. We'll figure out how to dismantle the two-party system later. And it's like, no, this is the time when we need to have it dismantled the fucking most. You are actively saying it can't get any worse than what we have now, Biden or Trump. And yet you're saying, feed into it now, get one of them in office, and then later we'll figure out how to get rid of it. There's not going to be any motivation if you think these are the actual worst it can get.
But that would require a
effort, which they don't do.
That would require that would require effort, and B, it would require ethical journalists. It would literally require thousands and thousands of ethical journalists. Journalists no longer report or do their journalism along moral and ethical lines. They don't. And without that, there is no way for a general populace to be informed. It's physically impossible. See, without moral and ethically
this is where I'm
genuine people to report on stuff.
This is where I'm torn on that. Bottom line is, I hear the dirty sides of both shit. I'm 29 years old. I'm not even fucking 30 yet. And I can sit here and tell you all about this freaking issue and what this one did and what that one did, because I actually go to multiple sources. I put myself in communities where I know people are going to be discussing both sides and the issues going on both sides. And I keep screaming into the void to these people, that's what you need to do. Stop reading news sources that only tell you one political bias. And I'm not even talking, occasionally read Fox News and see what they say, because you're going to read into it just to nitpick it. You've already got your personal bias, and you're going to go in and going, oh, how can I find ways that they're lying and figure out why I shouldn't trust them and why I should stick with my media sources. No, you need to put yourself in these people who hate all of them so you can see all the drama that's going on both sides, all the corruption going on both sides. And if you actively decide to not do that, that's your own fucking fault. The news is out there. It's out there. People just don't want to take the effort to look into it because they don't want to be held accountable when things go to shit, because ultimately they know it's their own damn fault. They're the ones who keep feeding into this. They're the ones who keep campaigning for them, donating to them. They're the ones putting all the effort. Guys, get out there and vote. Get your little stickers, because I'm a fucking 3-year-old who needs a damn sticker like a participation trophy to feel good about myself today. Because let's be honest, someone else said it, and I've been saying it for a long ass time. Voting is the laziest thing you can do to change the world. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You're just harassing people until they do what you want to do. That's it. And they know this. Deep down, they know this shit, but they don't want to be held accountable. They do not want to be held accountable. They don't want to freaking lift a finger and actually fix anything. That's why I keep saying things like, if you really believe in raising taxes to help this area, to help fund education, and all you people say like, oh, I'd be happy to pay an extra $30 if it goes towards feeding the homeless, etc. Then why aren't you fucking doing it now? Why are you waiting until it's a law? Because you don't actually want to do anything. That's why. You want everyone else to do it. You don't want to get up and do shit for yourself. I'm sorry. I am in a damn mood. I am so fucking fed up with this shit. Like, I've always been fed up. I've been on the liberty train, at least like somewhat gold pilled pretty early on. I've been saying anarchist since my early 20s. Okay. And before that, it was this kind of like gray area of like, I'm feeling anarchist, but I don't want to say it because stigma kind of thing, you know? And I'm just, and I get frustrated. I have to remind myself, like, because I ask myself, how do these people not get it? How are these people not anywhere near as fed up as I am? How are these people like so afraid of self-sufficiency? Why do I have to keep saying these things over and over again? And then finally to go, oh, I get what you mean. And then excuses because they don't want to do anything. It's like, why? Y'all are old enough to see this shit. And I have to stop myself and I have to remind myself, I legitimately went through a lot more in your face moments, experiences of government corruption and the worst ends of everything from doctors to public school and everything. I had it all slammed in my face really early on. And a lot of these other people just haven't. They've had some incidences, but not the extent every goddamn year of my life like I did. So I have to stop and go, okay, I just had the right freaking cocktail of events happen to wake me up to this point. But at the same time, it's like, no, you guys are fucking 30 years old. You're adults. The information is all out there. If I can access it and I can find this information, so can you. No more excuses. I am just beyond done. God, I feel like a fucking 60-year-old man sitting there like, just get off my fucking lawn already. Like, I'm 30 or not even 30 yet.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, for a lot of people, it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form. And it tends to be the ones that it doesn't affect in any way, shape, or form who are the ones who are the most vociferous about it happening. You know, I mean, for a perfect example would be in the UK during Brexit. People that were genuinely affected by being members of the EU wanted to vote to leave. People who weren't affected in any way, shape, or form, who were just happy, just wanted the status quo to be maintained, vociferously wanted to remain within the EU. I had friends and people who I knew who were 100%, I'm European, and I'm like, yeah, but you weren't before. Before we were in the EU and we weren't, everything was fine then, and everything's fine now. And it's like, yeah, but what people tend to do is they tend to vote to maintain a status quo. And that's that's pretty much all it is, and that's why I think a lot of people, especially over here in the US, that's why I think a lot of people are being quiet right now. That's why the Republican Party is keeping their mouth completely and utterly shut, because they know that the exact same thing that's going to happen over the next 4 years is exactly what happened during the second 4 years that Obama was in power. They know that the media are going to rain praise and nothing could ever possibly go wrong under Biden. So when the shit hits the fan in various different individual states, the people in those states don't get it, both barrels in both ears. Biden's the problem. It's no, Biden hasn't done anything wrong. Biden's doing this and Biden's doing that. So the people then look in, because the media aren't telling them that the man at the top is what's causing their problems. The media are going to be saying the man at the top isn't the cause of the problems. So the people in the states are going to be like, well, then it must be the people in my state. So in 2 years, I'm going to vote for some change in. And that's what will happen. 2 years from now, it will be Congress will be Republican and the Senate will be Republican. And the last 2 years will be Biden. And that's exactly what happened with Obama in 2010. In 2010, everything swung the other way. And it's because Obama could never do anything wrong. Nothing, not a single thing, not 100,000 drone attacks during his presidency, not starting conflicts in Libya, not starting conflicts in the Sudan, not starting conflicts in Yemen, not starting conflicts in the Middle East. None of that was bad. None of it was wrong. Nothing. None of the things that he did to the economy were wrong. Absolutely nothing, because the entire media were like, nothing. He's not done anything wrong. He's literally... So all of the people in the states where things were going bad and things weren't working out for them had to go, well, hey, if it's not his fault, it must be my local politicians. I will change my local politicians. And that's why Republicans are being very, very quiet now, because that's what they're seeing. They're seeing the beginnings of that, and 2 years from now, it's going to be an even bigger swing, because all the media is going to do for the next 2 years is talk about how wonderful Biden is, how everything's getting better. I mean, you and I will be like, no, it really,
There's
really
not
isn't.
enough Pepto-Bismol out there.
Yeah.
For the
But
next
that's
4 years,
that's
I
what
tell
you know.
I'm just
That's what.
vomiting every fucking day.
But that's what they'll do. I mean, the thing is, we tend to not watch or listen to the legacy media anyway, so it's just going to be the general voting population that listens to what the legacy media has to say, and the media are too dumb to realize it's like, right, okay, if we don't actually hold the people responsible for the bad actions people are going to come to their own conclusions, and we're not going to get what we want. And that's what. So, 2022 is going to be the exact same thing as 2010, and then 2024, people will either crap themselves and realize, oh crap, Republicans run Congress and the Senate. All right, we better vote for another Democrat for president, because there's no way on God's green, and that's what will happen, because Americans do not like. And here's the one thing, the one saving grace about voting Americans is they really don't like it when one party controls all three. When they really don't like it when it's a president that when it's a Democrat, when it's a one party president, Senate, and Congress. They like that even less, because things really go wrong then, and it's like, okay, we need to change this. Because if there's at least one thing that's different there, they know that nothing will get done that could really, really upset their lives. But they're prepared for, just leave me alone, just leave me. So yeah, that's what's 2022. The House will go back to the House will go Republican, but in 2024, everybody will be like, yeah, well, Biden's crap. So we need somebody else, but
if he's even alive by then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he probably it'll be Kamala Harris. He'll step down. I think he'll step down.
I've always said that, like, if all people are reptilian, it's probably Hillary. But honestly, like, Kamala Harris is just so fucking soulless. Her smile, like. It's like watching a freaking great white, like, get ready to attack. It's like this just empty, like, fake, like, she doesn't know how to human vibe every time I see her. And, like, I actually told my friend yesterday, the feel I get with, like, Biden and Kamala Harris is like King Theoden and Wormtongue. And she's Wormtongue, and she's telling, like, Biden, old cripple Biden, like, how to do everything, hoping he would get into power, like, that's what she is. Like, I don't trust her, like, at all. I mean, looking at her history, how can anybody fucking trust her? But I'm seeing all these freaking media sources, like, God, even Cartoon Network drawing her as a damn Powerpuff Girl, going on about.
Hang on a minute. Sorry, what's a Powerpuff Girl? I don't get that reference.
Okay. That's it's a cartoon that was pretty popular.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, sorry. I thought, I was like drawing her as a, yeah. So it's a cartoon on, like, it's on Cartoon Net. It's a cartoon on Cartoon Network. You know what? I think I might have seen that, actually.
It was really popular. I loved it when I was a kid. It was really popular when I was a kid, and like the three little girls and their superheroes. Blah blah.
I think my girls might have used that. I think my girls might have watched that back when they were.
It was fun, yeah. But they freaking drew her as one, and I'm just like. Yeah, because let's teach girls to idolize the woman who sucked dick of a man like twice her age or some shit. Who I think was also
when she
married
got to get into power, the district attorney. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was married too.
He was.
Yeah, so let's teach little girls to idolize that. And the one who set up freaking traps to separate immigrant kids from their parents and deport them, who freaking, like, jail tons of people for marijuana while also smoking marijuana herself. Yeah, let's go ahead and teach little girls to idolize that.
Yeah, but they're not That's not what they're going to do. They're just going to they're going to teach little
Oh, they're
girls
pushing it.
they're going to teach little
They are
girls
pushing
to
it
yeah
very hard.
no see that they're not going to teach little girls to idolize all of the things that you've
Oh yeah,
just
no, just
said.
her. Yeah, yeah,
They're
no,
going
not
to
those
teach
specifically. They're just going to
exactly,
brush
yeah.
it around and act like she
It's
did
like
nothing.
no,
Yeah,
that didn't. Everything that you
I
just
know.
said didn't happen.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
we
I
know
know.
it happened. We know it happened. But in the media's eyes, it's like, well, we're not going to tell everybody that she did
I know.
those things.
Of course
We're
not.
going to tell
Of course not.
everybody all of the wonderful things she's done. As
Like
soon as
what?
as soon as she does a few wonderful things, then we'll tell people.
As soon as she does, she doesn't even have
Because
anything.
she doesn't have a very
Literally
she doesn't
all
she has
is being
nothing.
woman and minority. That's literally all she's got going for
She
her.
has no achievements that she can say, I did this. This was really, really good, and I did it. She does not have
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry,
the
my
media
kids
are
aren't this.
really so the media are just and that's why, think about it, that's why it makes sense
No, I know.
for the media
I'm
to
not-
make her into
No,
a
I know.
cartoon
I'm
character.
not arguing with you in that way at all whatsoever. I'm just sick of it. I've got two little kids. I've got a little 8-year-old girl and I've got a 7-year-old boy. And they know better than to fall for this shit. They know better.
Yeah.
My son was actually reading some like National Geographic book the other day, and I was sitting on the floor in front of him, and he's reading it out loud behind me. And they started talking about like how we need more laws to support climate change and stuff. And he's just like, laws aren't going to do any good. Keeps going. Like, I mean, because he knows, yes, maybe it'll all be created. And it's like, okay, it's helping this one thing, but more than likely it's also hurting other people. And that's not going to get advertised. So, like, I'm sorry, my kids are smart. They know better than to fall for this shit. They know that, with a lot of all this presidential glorification and everything, they know there's a dark side to it. Because it's not like I'm sitting there driving in their skulls, but I mean, they hear me discussing. And it's funny because sometimes I'll post stuff on Twitter about like, like they'll repeat kind of the stuff I say and people are just like, oh, did that even happen? It's like, okay, you hear how fucking loud and animated I am? This is me 24/7. Okay. Yes, they're hearing what I'm saying and picking up on it. How could they not? My entire family is this way. Okay. My brothers, my mom, like everybody, we are all like this all the time. So yeah, they freaking know better, and I'm sorry, do the same with your kids. Take your kids and teach them. Kamala Harris is a perfect example. Biden's a perfect example. All of them are perfect examples. Look at the things that's being glorified and look at who they really are. Teach your kids to be better than that. Okay? You keep saying children are our future, that our public education has gone to shit. Well, you know what? You're the fucking parent. So maybe you should step up and teach them these things yourself instead of relying on Cartoon Network to tell you who your kids should be idolizing. Mm-hmm. Point blank. I am fed up. I am so fed up. The bottom line is this is what my kids are growing up in.
I think
whatever world you people create, whatever world you guys vote for, my children have to grow up in it. Okay? So yeah, I'm a little vocal because I'm kind of sick and tired of people acting like things are great when they're horrible, or acting like somebody is horrible or something is horrible when it's actually really beneficial to a lot of people. I was having a discussion not long ago about how, I hate Republicans and Democrats and all that. Like the same, it's all the same. It's all the same shit. But for my personal lifestyle, my personal, I just want to, like, my thing, I want to be left alone. I want to homestead. I want to homeschool my kids because I don't trust the public school system. I've been through hell and back multiple times throughout school. I want to keep them out of it for multiple reasons. I have all kinds of things that I believe in as the mother who has gone through repeated traumas thanks to government and all of its government, all different things government funded. And I want to keep my kids out of it and help them be the best adults they can be. I have my methods. I'm their mother. I know their learning styles. I know what's best. Unfortunately, Democrats don't agree with that. So while I can't stand red or blue like any more than each other, they're the same. It's the Democrats who wants to vote on how I can raise my kids. It's the Democrats who have threatened to call CPS on me because I'm allergic to vaccinations. And apparently my children who very likely have those same allergies and have had multiple doctors say, we're not putting that risk on them. I've actually had Democrats say, I hope CPS takes you and kills you and your family. It's not Republicans saying that shit to me. It's not Republicans going, how dare you homeschool your kids? It's the fucking Democrats doing it. So while Democrats can vote all they want about, oh, we need more government control, it's not going to affect me, I'm doing this anyway. You are putting my kids at risk. You are. If you put mandatory vaccines, no matter what, because I don't have clinical proof that they're allergic, we would have to do all kinds of invasive tests. And I have medical issues where those always go wrong. I actually almost lost my daughter to medical intervention. Okay. Think about the consequences of your actions. You are raising a dangerous world for my children, and you're raising a dangerous world for your own children without realizing it. And this is why I keep saying, put yourself in these communities where everybody hates and tears apart both sides equally, so you can see what's really going on. There's no excuses at this point. The internet is a wealth of information. You can all educate yourself about the dangers of the red or dangers from the blue, but you just choose not to. And you are affecting me and my kids and many others out there. So yeah, I mean, I am saying this as a very concerned mother, as y'all, because I know tons of women who like to use that excuse. I am a concerned mother about this and this and this. Well, I am too. I am too. I am at the end of my rope. I swear. Just running off into the woods is sounding better every fucking day, honestly.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Or as I keep telling you, you can't just run off into the woods. It's not going to work.
Watch me.
But you run off into the woods, they can follow you. They can come after you and they can say, this is now our land. You will do what we tell you to do. I've told you, you need to buy a great big container ship, right? And you need to sail it into international waters close enough to a uninhabited, deserted island, so that you can, play
I'm
golf
either going to be
and sunbathe.
Cryptid, or I'm going to just be a full-blown fucking pirate. Like there's not going to be.
No. I'm not saying
I don't care anymore. My kids are grown up. They're set. They're good to go. I don't have a ton of life left. I'm saying fuck it, and I am just like living the John McAfee lifestyle. Like goodbye, everybody.
I'm not saying be a pirate. I mean, I'm not saying
you're no fun then.
I'm not saying be a pirate. I mean, you could. I mean,
that's a personal problem.
But the thing is, I mean, if you were living on a ship in international waters, you could potentially need to protect yourself against pirates. But if you're on a great big container ship, you're gonna have a much more comprehensive arsenal.
Or, hear me out, I become king of the pirates. Okay? Like, you got to think big. You're not thinking big enough.
Nah, you see that then you've got the problem of, if you were the king of the pirates, the problem you would then have is, what if your pirates do something bad? Then you're morally and ethically, responsible for what one of your pirates does. So if one of your pirates murders a family in cold blood, that means that as the king of the pirates...
You do realize that a lot of pirates actually did have ethical codes, right?
Oh yeah, no, but and I'm sure
and
they do.
And if one of them killed a family in cold blood, then I'd kill him fucking back and make a fucking point at him.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of a little. It would be a little bit too late for the
This is how you know somebody doesn't get certain pop culture references, everybody.
Hey, look, I watched Pirates of the Caribbean,
That's
kind of, sort of.
That's not what I'm referencing at all.
But no, you wouldn't want to be a pirate. I wouldn't want to be a pirate, but I would want to kind of like, modern pirates.
I am sticking my Jolly Roger on my fucking ship, and you can't stop me.
Yeah. No, because you won't be you wouldn't be a 51% owner of said boat, so you wouldn't be able to fly a great big massive. You could put a pirate flag on like your area, but it wouldn't be on the side of the ship.
I didn't say I was going to put it on the side of the ship.
It would be a voluntarist flag on the side of the ship.
No.
You wouldn't be able to fly a pirate flag because that would just scare the crap out of anybody that saw it. They'd be like, holy shit, that's a big pirate ship. Let's give it a wide berth.
Go big or go home. That's what I keep trying to say.
Because once, see, here's the thing. Once it's kind of like run out of fuel and it's been anchored off the that's it. It's just going to be permanently there. I mean, it might even make, I mean, I don't know what the laws are, but I'm pretty sure that if it run aground, it wouldn't technically be in international waters. So it would have to be floating, but moored off a desert island, and then you would use the desert island for, you know, cool stuff, fun stuff.
For cool stuff.
Yeah, you know, if you want to do if you want to round a golf, or if you want to play tennis, or do some sunbathe. I mean, I suppose you could sunbathe on the ship, but it wouldn't look very good.
Tennis on my private island?
Huh?
Did you suggest tennis on my private island?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you have like sports facilities on? If you had a great
not
big
tennis.
Well, what's wrong with tennis?
I used to fucking tackle like men 3 times my size. Thank you. I'm more extreme than tennis.
Well, no, you can. There'll be football pitches and rugby. I'm just saying there's got to be at least a tennis court. You know, some people are going to want to play tennis. You know, I'm going to want to do, you know, the island. But I mean, for starters, the island, whatever island we moor this ship off, it's going to have to be a big island because it's going to need to have. I'm not asking for an island big enough for 18 holes.
You know what the problem
but
is?
It's got to have at least a par 3 9-hole course.
You're acting as if I'm going to live on this island with lots of other people.
Well, no, you're not going to be.
Go where they want. I have my own little place where everybody is just leaving me alone.
Yeah, you won't be living on the island. The island's like just if you want to break from from the ship, if you want to break from the ship and you want to break from the water sports and you just like you just go knock on a friend. Do you fancy 9 holes? Or do you fancy a game of tennis? And then you just jump onto a couple of the jet skis and, boat over to the island and, because there's probably going to be a couple of pubs and a couple of restaurants on it as well,
They can do what they want on that island. I will have my own damn, like hell if I'm going to be relaxing with any of them. I'm going to have my own damn place where I have my own little, like, quiet little hidey hole or some shit.
Exactly. Some people want to spend time on the island and other people would want to spend time on the boat, which is the whole point of having the boat in international waters and it being moored off an uninhabited island. Because once the island becomes inhabited,
sometimes they can build whatever the hell they want. They can have the damn island. I might pop in, say hi real quick, but otherwise it's like, no, if I have to spend all that time on a ship with a buttload of people, then I'm just going to want to be just completely left alone. I'm going to need my quiet time. So yeah, they can have the damn island. I will just like have my own tiny little island somewhere else where nobody can find me.
Well, it's going to need to be within like a range. You'd kind of want something. You'd want something.
But they won't know where it is.
Because obviously,
if the island is as huge as we're talking about, then I'm sure I can find some place where people can't find me.
Yeah, I mean, we'd want something. We'd want something relatively. We would want something relatively large.
Otherwise, they can just do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. You'd want somewhere decent because the ship's going to be. Sure, the ship will be good, and it'll have large areas where food and stuff and all of that can be grown, and various different things can be cultivated. For the survival bits and pieces. But people are going to want their tiny little place where they can build a house, and because if what it's, if you get a bit of bad weather, nobody's going to want to. It's like, oh, for God's sakes, it's another day of getting rocked from left to right. I just want to park myself in a little.
And that's totally fine. I'm just saying they can do that how they want. Mm-hmm. I am just going to want to be left alone. I don't like being surrounded by lots of people. I'll do it in a career sense, but then I get home and I like to just like cocoon myself in blankets and just be left alone.
Yeah, we could. Well, don't worry, we'll chill. We'll definitely chill. And like I said, it'd just be, let's go play. Let's, maybe one round of golf a week, or
Yeah,
a
no.
couple of sets of
I look
tennis
like
with
somebody
someone.
plays golf.
What's wrong with golf?
Everything's wrong. I don't think you understand. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Exactly, which is why you're going to be able to do
Golf.
jet skiing and speed boating, and you're going to be able to do deep sea diving, and you're going to be able to do some scuba and stuff like that. You're going to be
Yeah,
able to
but
do
not
all
golf.
you'll be able to do parascending. You'll be able to do some. Think about it. The boat's going to be huge, so you'll be able to do some really, really big cliff
Yeah,
jumping.
I'll be busy doing all the cool shit
Yeah.
and not playing golf.
See, I want to. I like to chill and relax, and play nine
You know
holes.
I don't chill and relax. You know this. Most people know this, that I don't chill. I chill by reading a book for a little while, I get my incense going and some meditation music, and I wind down. And then I go out and I start watching like One Piece or some shit and do like intense weight training workouts with it. Like that's my me time.
Mm-hmm. No
I
worries.
actually still really want to get into knife throwing. The weather's cooling down. I need to get into knife throwing. Actually,
Okay.
since the weather's cooling down, then the ranges are opening up too. And I've got I got an archery set and shit.
See, you'd be able to do all of that stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm?
See, I either have to stay like really active or I have to like learn how to be more deadly. And I can't do either with golf.
Of course you can.
No.
Of course you could. Of course
No.
you could.
No.
Little golf ball hits you in the right place.
Yeah, I can throw that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pretty damn good arm. Like, yeah, I'll just throw it and knock someone out, which is why I'm learning knives. If I can throw football pretty damn well, then I'm sure I can throw knives even better.
No worries. So that was a good tangent, but yes. So that's what we need to do. That's so yeah. Just as you said, just going off into the woods. It'll work in some states for some period of time, but eventually, the people that don't want you to have fun and don't want you to live your life will come for you and say, "Yeah,
That's
no."
where you gotta get creative. That's where you gotta get creative. Fake your death. Become the next cryptid in the woods.
Well, no, because that wouldn't work either. Because they'd still come after you because they'd want you to vote for someone.
They're really bad. Well, I mean, they're bad at. We already know they're bad at this shit. What cryptids have they found yet?
No, I'm saying no.
Man.
I'm not criticizing the cryptid, but I'm criticizing the fake death thing. You see, even though you faked your death, they'd still want you to vote. So they'd still,
I really don't think they'd be hunting me down to make me vote if they think I'm dead.
Well, they would if they needed that extra vote.
They could just fake my information at that point. What are they going to do? Dig up my dead body, stick a pen in my hand, and marionette?
Well, exactly. You may think that you're dead because you faked it, but the rest of the world would think you're still alive because you're still voting.
No.
Somebody's voting for you.
No, I don't think that's how this would work.
But I don't know.
Don't question my methods.
I don't know if faking one's death would work. Having multiple legal fictions is beneficial to be able to do something like that, though.
Yeah, I'm already ahead of the game.
And you're already ahead of the game.
Don't question my methods, thank you. You underestimate my power.
Okay, shall we rant about anything else, or shall we call time? What do you reckon? Is there anything else that we can rant about?
I don't know. I can rant about anything. Like, you just give me a damn subject and I'll find something to rant about. We just had this discussion.
Yeah. So we talked about whether or not aliens would legitimately abduct cows. I don't think that they would. I just don't. I'm sorry. You want to hear about that? Go back to the beginning, because I think I put forward a pretty good argument for why driver of a UFO would not want science dweeb aliens in the back, cutting things up, getting blood everywhere, and making a mess.
So, but see, this also brings me to my plan C.
Okay.
Just fucking abduct me already. I'm done. Like, just put me in the damn spaceship and do not put me back. I am like,
yeah, but what if you get abducted by, what if you get abducted by a species of aliens that isn't very nice and kind of like do
Then I
horrible
go
things
out
to
with
you.
a bang like I deserve. Okay,
You're gonna keep a grenade with the pin pulled out, just so you can
Okay, we
release it at
already
the right
established
moment.
that the whole boat thing and running to the woods thing is where I'm at the point where if like everything's good, I don't have much life left. If I die, I die. So if I'm abducted and I see some fucking aliens and I die, then that is like so goddamn fitting for like everything that I am. Okay. So I mean that's just even better as far as I'm concerned.
No worries. Okay, and I think that is a good place as any for us to call time on this week's podcast. So yes, we're gonna do. Let's do our wrap up. So our wrap up would be buy our stuff. I don't have any stuff, but Harley's got stuff, so she'll put that.
I've got stuff. I've always got
She'll put
stuff.
that. She'll put links to her store and stuff, and links to various different bits and pieces in the video description below. I will start making stuff again so that you can buy stuff from me. I guess I'll make some show merch of some kind, and we will have a new logo coming very very soon. We didn't use it
Yes,
this
yes,
week.
very, very
Didn't use it.
generous friend
Didn't
and
use it
listener
this
has
week.
like upped it.
But we have an updated version of the show logo, which we will very very soon. We might even put it in the corners of our Zoom screens. Just generally, don't take to heart what's going on. Kind of be chill, relaxed, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter. Be sure to follow us on Twitter because Harley's always got something funny and using. Not so much me, but she's always got either a hot take or a hot mess to tweet. So
I am the best of both worlds, and they
yeah,
all know it.
you'll get the best of both worlds, and we'll keep churning out the episodes every single week for you. So you've got something new and interesting to listen to every Sunday evening. But until then, toodles.
Bye, everyone.